Well, hey there. Here we are. This is my hometown project. Got a nice picture of Olney Waterfall. I'll get to that in a little bit. But I guess I'll just kind of. I was going to talk a little bit about my childhood and where I came from because I wasn't born here in Illinois. But yeah, so I was born in Washington, Washington State. I was born in a little town called Monroe. I grew up in Gold Bar for most of my life. It was a little town up in the mountains. Um, I lived there till probably like 6 or 7. I moved back and forth between my mom and dad a lot. Um, but yeah, no, I lived with my dad for a good time up in Gold Bar. That's kind of where I always have associated as my hometown. That's my cousins used to live there with us. There's a bunch of kids. We were all around the same age that lived on the block, and we always would go out and play and climb trees, whatever it was, really. But as I got older, my dad was he was always big into camping, and we had like four wheelers, and we just go out and have fun, whatever. Well, this right here, like I said, this is Only Falls. This was one of our more popular camping spots. It was about 15, 20 minutes drive away from our house. And then once we got to the street where we started our hike, it was about a 3 mile hike. So it took us, I don't know, an hour or so. We took our time, just kind of chilled. Sometimes we'd take the quads up there and it'd be, a 5, 10 minute ride. It'd be real quick. But down the waterfall a little bit more. This is more like when you're looking up it from the bridge. Actually, there's a bridge that crosses over it because it where it's located. There's active logging roads and stuff, and cutting down trees, whatever. So there's a road, but yeah, that's like looking up, and then if you look down the waterfall the other way, which I wish they had a picture, um, but it doesn't look like they do. Yeah, no. But anyway, yeah, we would camp down by the beach. There's a little beach area, and we had like a campfire, and then there's a nice mossy spot where we'd throw up our tents, and then it was like I mean, it was pretty comfortable. But up the side of the mountain, this is like the side. I get well, duh, it's the side, but like this is right next to the water. Up a little bit more, there's actually a trail that goes all the way up to the very top of the waterfall, way up here, and that's always a lot of fun. This used to be like one of the sources of energy per se. Back way back, they channeled the water. Blah blah blah. There's a bunch of my dad had sat there and explained it to me one time, but I was like, what? But yeah, this is where I used to go camping all the time. Right around here, there's a nice little pool that's just kind of settled down. I've gone swimming in there countless times. If you follow the waterfall down all the way, there's more areas. There's actually like a big clay beach, I guess, and we used to dig out trenches and like see how far up the shore we could get the water. There was always like deer tracks and stuff there too, which was really cool. Yeah, there are bears here and stuff. All that is lots of fun. I miss it a lot, not gonna lie. But that was like this when I think of home for me, I think of Only Falls. I think of here because I always just like whenever I was out camping, I always just felt like really at home and just kind of in my spot. It's funny. I actually remember walking across this log a couple of times. I almost fell. Funny story. One time I was wearing pajama pants while I was out camping, and it wasn't this log. It was actually down by our campsite. There's another log leaning over, but I had crawled out on there, and like I said, I was wearing pajama pants, and I had my phone in my pocket, and I actually dropped it into the waterfall and lost my phone, and I was I was freaking out and stuff. I mean, like it was gone. I never got it back. We tried calling it though, and like it was ringing, like it still worked, but yeah, it was whoop washed right down, and I never saw that again. But outside of that, I moved here when I was 13 years old. I moved to Illinois, Downers Grove. I live right next to DGS. But when I was 13, my eighth grade year, I moved here. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice place. It gets really cold though. I liked Washington because of all the rain. The rain was really nice. And Seattle, there's a place in Seattle called Pike Place Market. It's really well known for they do like they throw fish to each other and stuff. If you Google it, you'll find it. But they also have like a big wall of gum. That's a thing down there. It's cool. They got like some. I remember actually going to Pike Place Market. My favorite part was always the candy store because their candy store had some candy that like you never heard of before. But like you just go there and you'd be like, these look fucking amazing. All right, and then you just spend tons of money there, and that's what I did every time. But it's okay because it was delicious and it always worked out. And now I have really bad teeth because of it. But outside of all that, I mean, I lived up in the mountains for a long time. I've always, I grew up riding dirt bikes and quads. I've gotten into my fair share of accidents. I remember one time actually I messed up my teeth because it was the first time I ever rode a motorcycle and I didn't really know what I was doing and I just gunned it and went right into a fence. And I wasn't wearing the right helmet, which was, it was a bad time. Long story short, my tooth was in the fence, and that was no bueno. But, yeah, I really like this place. It's really nice. I do eventually want to move back there and live there at some point in my life. That's kind of where I've always just felt at home, which, I mean, that's why I'm doing this project on it, so. But yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot. I miss it a lot. A lot of my family lives out, like pretty much all of my family lives out there. My grandparents, my dad. I'm the oldest of 7 kids now, and four of my siblings live out in Washington. So, ugh. But yeah, that's a little taste of my hometown and where I'm from and how I do things, my outlook. Oh, it's okay. So, fun thing about Only Falls, my dad and I, we had a conversation one time, and we were talking about the zombie apocalypse, and we were saying, like, what if the zombie apocalypse happens, right? And so ooh, excuse me. But we're out there, or we were in his truck, I don't know, we were just talking, whatever. And basically, up this side of the waterfall, it's like up more, but there's a cave up there, actually. And if you go down the road a little ways, there's a rope that you could use to get up. But basically, there's a cave up there, and when the zombie apocalypse happens, that's going to be our meetup spot. So if zombie apocalypse goes down, guys, you know where I'm going. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, that's a little taste of kind of where I grew up. It's always really green, lots of rain, very wet, nice cool weather. Doesn't get like negative degrees ever. Like even in the winter, it'll be like 20, 30. We're here like last night, I was out canvassing and it was real feeling -5, and I was just like, it was fucking cold. But yeah, that's a little taste of my hometown and where I grew up. I've said that a couple of times, but that's okay. I just kind of think of stuff on the fly and spit it out, because that's how we roll. But yeah, I got another 2 projects that I'll be doing videos for. 1 or 2. No, 1 more. And yeah, well, hope you enjoyed. Hope you liked a little bit of my life story, I guess. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of it. Alright, well, peace, guys. Now if I can just figure out how this thing works.